Hello and welcome to ImpactXR School of AI. I'm your host, Sammy Coons, and today we'll be interviewing President John F. Kennedy. I hope you enjoy. Wow, this is nice. Oh, this is the Oval Office from back in the day. They've done a lot of technical upgrades since then. And here's the president, the man himself. Good evening, Mr. President. How are you today?
Well, good evening to you. It's lovely to have you here in the Oval Office.
I'm doing well, thank you. The serenity of this room,
With the finches singing outside and the warmth of the fire,
brings a certain peace, doesn't it? What brings you here today?
Now, I want to know a little bit more about you and your presidency and your personal life. Can you kind of tell me about yourself and your family and where you come from?
well, I was born in Brookline, Massachusetts in 1917, and I come from a large family, the Kennedy clan. My father, Joseph Kennedy Sr., was a successful businessman, and my mother, Rose, a devoted homemaker. I have 8 siblings, and we all shared a strong sense of duty and public service. Family has always been very important to me, as they inspire and support me through both personal and political challenges. My own family now includes my beloved wife, Jackie, and our 3 children, Caroline, John, and Patrick. The bonds we share are central to my life and my work as president.
So tell me something. What encouraged you to get into politics?
Well, my entrance into politics was largely influenced by my father's
Ambition and our family's strong tradition of public service.
I witnessed firsthand the impact one can have on society through leadership and advocacy. Growing up during the Great Depression opened my eyes to the struggles of the American people, and I felt a calling to serve them. The desire to address issues such as civil rights, education, and health care ignited my passion for politics, and it propelled me into this great endeavor of public life. I truly believe in the power of government to enact positive change.
Speaking of civil rights, what did you do to support the civil rights cause?
Well, during my administration, I made significant strides to support the civil rights cause. I believe that equality is a fundamental right,
And I was determined to address these injustices faced by African Americans.
In 1963, I proposed comprehensive civil rights legislation, which aimed to eliminate segregation in public places, ensure voting rights, and promote equal employment opportunities. I also established the Presidential Commission on the Status of Women to address gender equality.
The March on Washington in August 1963,
where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous "I Have a Dream"
speech, was a pivotal moment that galvanized public support for civil rights, and I fully supported these efforts.
The fight for civil rights requires continuous commitment.
And I aim to lead the nation towards a more just and equitable society.
So tell me, what part of the political aisle were you a part of, and did you have opposition from the other aisle when it came to civil rights?
Well, I am a member of the Democratic Party, and during my presidency, I faced considerable opposition from the Republican Party, particularly on issues like civil rights and economic policy.
While I sought to advance social reforms and economic programs,
Many Republicans questioned my approaches, arguing they might lead to increased government intervention and spending. However, I always believed in the importance of dialogue and compromise. It's a vital part of democracy, and although there were disagreements, I was committed to finding common ground to move the country forward. The American people expect us to act in their best interests,
regardless of our party affiliations.
Did you ever have any meetings with Dr. King?
Well, yes, I did have the opportunity to meet with Dr.
Martin Luther King Jr. on several occasions.
One of the most significant meetings took place in the Oval Office in 1961, where we discussed the ongoing struggle for civil rights and the challenges facing the African American community.
I always respected his vision and leadership in the movement.
Our conversations were instrumental in shaping my understanding of the importance of civil rights legislation,
and I valued his insights as we worked towards a more just society.
Great. Did you ever consult in your wife when it comes to any kind of making a political decision or maybe some of the issues that you were facing as a president, just to kind of get her thoughts on it?
Oh, well, absolutely. Jacqueline, or Jackie as I affectionately call her, has always been a trusted confidant and a tremendous source of support during my presidency. Her insights and perspectives on various issues have proven invaluable to me, both personally and politically. Jackie has a keen understanding of the American public, and her dedication to social causes parallels my own commitment to public service. We often discuss important matters at home, and her opinions help me navigate the complexities of leadership. Her strength and grace have always inspired me, and I truly value her input in shaping my decisions.
I have another question for you. Right now, I'm living in the year 2025, and we have a lot of history on you. And right now, we're privy to what we would call drama in your life. Would you like to speak to that? Some of the challenges that you had in your personal life, being the president of the United States?
Well, I appreciate your interest, but I must admit that I don't have knowledge of events or challenges that may have transpired after my time. In the current year you mentioned, I can only speak to the challenges I faced during my own presidency. Leading a nation comes with great pressure and scrutiny, and balancing my personal life with public duties is certainly a challenge. I've worked to maintain close relationships with my family while navigating the demands of office. The weight of responsibility can be heavy, yet I remain committed to serving the American people. Personal struggles are part of any leader's journey, and I do my best to remain resilient in the face of adversity. Beyond that, I'm not privy to any further unfolding dramas or matters.
Tell me something. Do you know Marilyn Monroe?
Well, I certainly know of Marilyn Monroe. She was a prominent actress and a cultural icon during my time. Her talent and charisma captivated audiences around the world, and she became a symbol of glamour in Hollywood. Her work in films and her status as a beloved figure in the entertainment industry are noteworthy. However, I don't engage in personal discussions about individuals or relationships that go beyond professional matters. My focus remains on serving the American people and addressing the pressing issues of the day.
I can respect that. Speaking of the pressing issues of your day right now, what was the most challenging thing that you had to do, or the most challenging times during your presidency?
Well, there have certainly been several challenging moments during my presidency. One of the most pressing and difficult times was the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1960. It was a tense standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union as we discovered nuclear missiles being placed in Cuba just 90 miles from our shores. The threat of nuclear war hung heavily over us, and I had to navigate very carefully to resolve the situation without escalating tensions further. It required a great deal of diplomacy, strategic thinking, and the support of my advisors. Ultimately, we were able to reach a peaceful resolution, but it was perhaps one of the most critical moments in my tenure as president. The responsibility to protect our nation while pursuing peace weighed heavily on my shoulders.
Did you ever have a moment where you actually thought that we would have a nuclear war?
Well, the prospect of nuclear war was indeed a terrifying reality during the Cold War, particularly during events like the Cuban Missile Crisis. There were moments when tensions were so high that it felt as if the world was on the brink. The constant threat of nuclear confrontation was a profound concern, and I understood the grave implications for humanity. My administration focused on diplomacy and strategic negotiation to prevent such a catastrophic event. The responsibility of ensuring the safety and security of the nation while striving for peace was paramount, and I was committed to finding a way to avert disaster.
Tell me something. Who were some of the allies for the United States during your time?
Well, during my presidency, the United States forged strong alliances with various countries, many of which were critical in addressing global challenges. Notably, our relationships with Western European nations, such as the United Kingdom, France, and West Germany, were vital for maintaining collective security against the threat of communism. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was a cornerstone of our alliance framework. Additionally, I also sought to build partnerships in Latin America through initiatives such as the Alliance for Progress, aimed at promoting economic growth and combating the influence of communism in the region. Strengthening these alliances was essential for ensuring stability and cooperation on a global scale.
What was our relationship with China during your presidency?
Well, during my presidency, our relationship with China was complex and marked by significant tension. The People's Republic of China, under the leadership of Mao Zedong, was seen as a communist adversary, particularly in the context of the Cold War. However, I recognize the importance of engaging with China and the potential for diplomacy. While my administration maintained official relations with the Republic of China, based in Taiwan, I also sought to explore avenues for dialogue with the mainland. This shift would later be fully realized by my successor, but I laid the groundwork for a changing relationship, as I believe that engagement could lead to greater understanding and potentially reshape the dynamics in Asia. The balancing act was crucial during this period as emerging global influences continued to evolve.
What do you believe are great traits of a great president?
Well, I believe that several key traits define a great president. First and foremost, effective leadership requires a strong sense of vision, knowing where you want to take the nation and the ability to inspire others to follow that vision. Empathy is also crucial. Understanding the needs and struggles of the American people allows a president to enact policies that truly resonate with them. Moreover, strong communication skills are vital for conveying ideas clearly and fostering dialogue across various groups, including bipartisan cooperation. Resilience in the face of adversity is essential, along with the capacity to learn from mistakes. Lastly, humility is an important trait. A great president understands that they are a servant of the people with the responsibility to make decisions that are best for the nation as a whole. Balancing these qualities can lead to effective and impactful leadership.
How important was it to you to have the support of majority of the American people during your presidency?
Well, having the support of the majority of the American people is absolutely vital for a president. Public trust and approval lend legitimacy to the administration's initiatives and policies, making it easier to enact meaningful change. When the people are engaged and supportive, it not only strengthens the government's mandate, but also fosters a sense of unity and shared purpose in addressing the nation's challenges. Moreover, public support can mitigate opposition and encourage cooperation among lawmakers, facilitating bipartisan efforts. Ultimately, a president's effectiveness hinges on their ability to connect with the American people, understand their concerns, and rally support for the greater good. A successful presidency relies on this crucial relationship between the leader and the citizens they serve.
Can you tell me about a particular difficult decision you had to make during your presidency?
Well, one particularly difficult decision I faced during my presidency was the commitment of U.S. military advisors to Vietnam. In 1961, as tensions grew, I had to decide whether to send additional military support to assist the South Vietnamese government in its fight against communism. It was a challenging decision as I weighed the implications of military involvement against the desire to support a nation struggling for its independence. There were strong arguments on both sides, and I was acutely aware of the potential for escalation. Ultimately, I chose to increase our support, believing it was necessary to bolster a key ally in the fight against communist expansion. However, I also understood the weight of this decision, knowing it could lead to deeper commitments in the future. The complexity of such choices is a reality that all leaders must navigate.
Did you regret making that decision?
Well, as a leader, I must acknowledge that every decision comes with risks and potential consequences. I don't dwell on regret, but I do reflect on the complexities and challenges we faced regarding Vietnam. Military involvement brought about significant implications, and I realized that the situation was far more intricate than I initially anticipated. It's important to understand that my intention was to support a noble cause and prevent the spread of communism. As subsequent events unfolded, I recognized the need for careful consideration in foreign policy decisions. Thus, while I do not wish to regret, I reflect upon the crucial need for clear understanding and ongoing evaluation of our actions in the pursuit of peace and stability.
Last question. Can you tell me, how did you handle the pressure of leading our country during the Cold War?
Well, handling the pressure of leading the country during the Cold War required a combination of resolve, strategic thinking, and emotional fortitude. First and foremost, it is important to cultivate a strong support system Surrounding oneself with trusted advisors and colleagues who can provide diverse perspectives and expertise. Maintaining a firm grip on one's values and vision for the nation is crucial. It helps navigate the tumultuous political landscape and make decisions that align with both principles and the interests of the American people. It also involves open communication with the public, as transparency fosters trust and understanding during challenging times. Lastly, finding moments of peace, whether through family, personal reflection, or activities outside of politics, can help mitigate stress and maintain clarity of thought. Leading a nation during such a tumultuous period is no small feat. But perseverance and a dedication to service can guide one through the most trying times.
Did you have any key advisors that you leaned on the most? And I know I said the other question was my last question, but this really is my last question.
Well, throughout my presidency, I relied on several key advisors. But one of the most prominent was my brother, Robert F. Kennedy, who served as Attorney General. Bobby was not only a close confidant, but also a passionate advocate for civil rights and social justice. And his insights were invaluable. Additionally, I sought guidance from individuals like McGeorge Bundy, my national security advisor, who played a crucial role during critical decisions regarding foreign policy. I drew on the expertise of a diverse circle of advisors, including Dean Rusk and Robert McNamara, each contributing different perspectives during times of pressure. Ultimately, collaboration and debate among these advisors shaped my decision-making and helped me navigate the complexities of leadership during the Cold War. Thank you for your thoughtful questions.
Wow, man, that's awesome. Here's another question. Were you ever afraid during your presidency of being assassinated?
Well, as president, I was certainly aware of the risks that come with the office, including concerns about security and the possibility of threats to my life. While I did not dwell on fear, I understood the gravity of the position and the responsibilities I carried. I worked closely with the Secret Service and took necessary precautions to ensure my safety, knowing that my ability to lead depended on my own security. However, I always maintained a focus on the work at hand and the mission of serving the American people, rather than allowing fear to dictate my actions. Ultimately, my commitment to the ideals of democracy and public service outweighed the concerns about personal safety.
Do you have any advice to your predecessors, the future presidents of the United States of America, and how they should possibly lead the country?
Well, only my advice to any future president would center on a few key principles. First, always prioritize the needs of the American people. Listen to their concerns and strive to serve their best interest. It's essential to remain connected with the public and empathize with their struggles. Second, embrace collaboration and build strong relationships across party lines. Effective governance often requires compromise and cooperation, especially in a diverse democracy. Third, maintain a steadfast commitment to his values and principles, even when faced with pressure or adversity. Leadership is often tested during challenging times, and integrity should guide every decision made. Lastly, remember that importance of communication, clearly conveying your vision and listening actively is vital for fostering unity. Leading this great nation is both a profound honor and a tremendous responsibility, and it requires unwavering dedication to the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Thank you for your thoughtful inquiry.
Well, Mr. President, it's been a pleasure. I thank you for your time, and I'm going to wrap it up, but I look forward to coming back asking you more questions about your time in office.
It's been a pleasure having you here in the Oval Office. I appreciate your thoughtful questions and the engaging conversation. I welcome you back anytime to discuss more about my time in office or any other matters of interest. Thank you for your visit, and take care.